Alright, so in this video, we are going to be talking about body consciousness and what it means to connect with that in a healthy way versus trying to bypass our body and bypass what is taking place within the physical plane as if reality isn't a mirror of what we are. So kind of what I'm saying is the physical body is important. It's not something we want to ignore. It's not something we want to completely transcend. Although, yes, we are not our physical body at our core. We're much more than just a physical body. We're still pure conscious awareness deciding, not for no fucking reason, but for a reason, right? To have an experience in the physical plane with the physical body. And I think a lot of new age, type teachers are promoting this idea that we want to escape the body or that to connect with the source energy, we want to bypass what is going on in the body. But that's not going to be an effective method of actually connecting with and integrating the source consciousness. It's just not going to work to the most effective degree. And I like to use the Kabbalistic tree to break things down sometimes. So I'm going to be giving you an idea of what I'm trying to convey by showing you this. So here's the Kabbalistic tree. These energetic centers that you see actually represent different energetic centers within our body that have emanative qualities that kind of, we could say, are in association with our subtle energy bodies as well. And there's also different archetypal pathways here that are associated with different aspects of our overall energetic structure and archetypal forces that are existing within the mass collective consciousness itself. So we have everything basically starts up here and then it moves down into the lowest order of creation, which is going to be the physical plane known as Malkuth, and that's what I'm pointing at right now. So this represents your physical reality and it represents your physical body. Now I want you to imagine like a skyscraper. At the top of it is like the purest level of source consciousness and creation, and at the bottom things kind of dilute a little bit, but they still have an importance. Now imagine if you were to pull out the bottom of a skyscraper, what would happen to the rest of it? It's going to collapse. It's going to go boom, 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 and the whole thing is going to like break down. So that's what would happen if we were to take out this sphere right here. Well, this structure is going to fall down. At least this is a way that you can look at it to understand what I'm conveying to you. So we don't want to over-identify with our body or the physical plane in general, but we don't want to under-identify with our body or the physical plane, because this is actually a form of spiritual bypassing that a lot of people in the New Age communities and just in general kind of get themselves into, and they get stuck and they're not really able to evolve to the highest degree that they can because they're not understanding that the physical plane and the physical body has its importance. That's why we're experiencing the physical plane inside of a physical body. So everything in your body has a form of sentience and a form of consciousness. So all of your different organs, including your skin, I believe, is also considered an organ. Your cells, bacteria that are existing within the body, all of this makes up the collective intelligence of your body. And we want that collective intelligence to be acknowledged, and we want it to be functioning properly, because if it isn't, this is when we get physical health problems. Oftentimes, because of trauma that we go through, we actually store suppressed negative energies inside of our body that no matter how much we try to bypass it and maybe act like it's not there or ascend to 5 fucking D, I don't know, some of the stuff that people teach these days is very crazy. That is going to be energetically imprinted within the body, and it can eventually cause a lot of different health problems. and a lot of different things to begin misfiring in the system because this is a communication from the body like, hey, you need to pay attention to us. We're getting sick, or there's something that's misfiring inside of us. And what will actually begin happening is we start having really heavy emotions and things of that nature. And the reason why we feel heavy emotions is because that's the frequency of the trauma that's stored in the body that we get an opportunity to feel through and ultimately heal through. And we get to release it from the body, which gives us more of an ability to be the source consciousness and to connect with the totality of what we are without trying to bypass what is happening in the body, thinking that that's how we like connect with the source or connect with God or whatever it is that you label that energy as. We're not here to bypass the physical experience. Yes, we don't want to over identify with it as if that's all, that there is, but we do not want to bypass it. All the little sensations and feelings that we get within our body, we get them for a reason. It is not random and it is not something that we want to ignore. And a lot of very intuitive communications will come through the body at different locations in the body that are associated with different energy centers that have to do with the subtle energy field and even different locations of the body that are highly symbolic. I mean, I just showed you the Kabbalistic tree, and we are all the Kabbalistic tree. And different places on the Kabbalistic tree have different meanings, so you can imagine that different sensations and feelings that you get in your body are also having a type of meaning, which is an intuitive communication from your higher self through your body consciousness. So you don't want to shut yourself off to that communication. Going back to trauma, all of us have been through trauma in our life. And what happens when we don't address it is it stores itself within the body. And what we're also or often programmed conditioned to do is we create a belief system, we create an identity, we create a persona, a personality around the trauma to keep us from experiencing, what's going on in our body on that deeper level. Your body remembers everything that happens to you, but what we do, and there's a lot of conditioning that plays into this as well, is we disassociate our mind from the body. So there's this disconnect that is taking place. And once again, this is where a lot of physical health problems actually come into play because it's a communication from our body consciousness that there is something that needs to be addressed and there's something that we are avoiding. Now, the way we build a healthy relationship with our body consciousness is we begin to train ourselves to be completely present with our emotions rather than bypassing what's going on. And oftentimes, this is going to be difficult when it's very polarizing negative emotions, but this is often an indicator of trauma that is trapped in our body that needs to be released. But if we try to bypass those emotions with unhealthy coping, certain relationships, an identity, a belief system, a perception, we're not actually releasing that energy from our body. So we want to be with our emotions, we want to be aware of them, and we want to view them as communications from our body and even at times our higher self as well. And we want the higher self to be in connection with the body, or we want the higher self to be in coherence with the body, I think is what I wanted to say.